Hello there. In this video, we want to explore a particular important thing, very important for our life, and yet people don't consider it at all. They don't give it any thought. It's a matter of life and death. It's a matter of heaven. When I say life and death, what I really mean in Christianity, when we say life and death, we mean heaven or hell. It's a matter of our eternity. That's what we call a matter of life and death. It's not threatening anybody with dagger or gun or anything. So whenever we say it's a matter of life and death, we're not talking about literal death. We're talking about spiritual death. We're talking about life hereafter and what will be our portion. That's what Christianity calls life and death. So it's not literal. So this issue, it's about life and death. It's about heaven or hell. And yet a lot of people are careless about it. They're careless about it. So as a Christian, because I care, because I think about the afterlife, because I think about what happens to every individual, including you, my viewer, that's why we talk about these issues. And we want you to have the power to be able to choose where you are going hereafter. And so when you hear me talk about Islam often, it is not because of hatred. It's not because of Islamophobia. It's not because I hate Muslims. It's because the Bible says if you know how to do good and you do not do it, then it is sin unto you. So I consider what we do here as part of doing good, helping people, opening the eyes of people, enlightening people to be able to make a better choice for their life now and for the life hereafter. I consider, let me tell you very point blank, I consider Islam to be a false religion. So straight out, I have to say that. I consider it to be a false religion. And if you're a Muslim, particularly the committed Muslims, and you get offended by this statement, I think the only thing you should ask from me is give me evidence. Show me evidence. Show me proof. It's not a matter of annoyance. It's not a matter of anger. If anybody walks up to me and people do it, okay, Dawah people do it. They say Christianity is false. Christianity is fake religion. They say this, they say that. We don't fight them. We want you to prove it. So if I say Islam is false, I want you to be able to, I want you to tell me, to prove it. And when I bring evidence, all right, what you should do is consider those evidence. Look at them. Don't dismiss them. Look at them and address them. If you think that the evidence that I'm bringing forth, that those proofs are not real, then come out. Tell everybody why you think they're not true. And so in this video, I'm going to be reviewing a particular show that came up on a channel known as Cruise. A very dear brother sent that to me and said, you may be able to see one or two things in this video, so please watch it. So I went in there, watched it. I made sure I watched it from the beginning to the end. And after that, I have also gone through several sections to be able to be sure that I actually got what is being discussed there. So here is the thing. As you see on the screen, what you find on the screen is this. Opinions and views expressed in this show are that of the speakers and are solely meant to spark meaningful conversations around contentious, undiscussed topics. Did you see that? Contentious, undiscussed topics. Why are these topics undiscussed? Why are they undiscussed? Is there any part of religion or any part of our life that should not be discussed, that we should not bring to the table and debate and examine whether they are true or not? And so from the very beginning, the owners of this YouTube channel, they're already putting a disclaimer saying that the opinions that are expressed here belong to the owners, those who expressed those opinions. Well, let me correct you. First of all, some of the opinions don't belong to those who express them. Some of those opinions belong to their belief system. You see, this is political correctness. This is what we call political correctness. All right? Saying that the opinions belong to those who express them. No. Not all opinions belong to those who express them here. And in all cases too, not all opinions belongs to those who express them. Some of the opinions come from the faith, the belief system, the ideology of the person expressing that opinion. So they are not expressing their own opinions, they're expressing the opinions of their religion. And this is where things get awkward. This is exactly the same reason people don't know anything about these matters we're going to be pointing out here. Look at them. They are saying that it is to spark meaningful conversations. To spark meaningful conversations, yet you are already misinforming people that the opinions are they show no. You are messing it up from the beginning. You are messing things up. And I understand why you are messing it up. This channel, when I went to look at what they're actually doing, they deal with so many things. They deal with so many social issues, so many topics, not religious topics every time. In fact, rarely do they talk about religious matters. But in this particular episode, it is about religious discussion between Muslims and Christians. So there are 3 Christians on the panel and there are 3 Muslims. Here they are. I'm going to just let you see them very, very soon. So let's see.
Here are the prompts we'll be discussing on today's episode.
And so this is, they're telling you already, these are the things they will be discussing in this episode. These are the things they'll be discussing. Look at those topics. There is no valid reason for leaving Islam. That's number 1. 2, Sharia is misunderstood concept. It is not about oppression, but justice. The way they are wording these prompts, these topics of discussion, the way they are wording them, they're wording them in favor of Islam. But not to worry. The Christians on the panel, they actually tried. They tried with their limited understanding. I give kudos to one of them, one in particular. He has actually done his homework. The remaining 2 have not done much about Islam. But they tried. They used their reason, and to be able to debunk what the other 3. Should I say other 3 now? Well, let's go. 2 of those 3, 2 of the Muslims. So there are 3 Christians, 3 Muslims. 2 of the Muslims they are in favor of strict laws of Islam. One of them is a social justice warrior. She actually said that she's a feminist, and a feminist Muslimah is, it's an oxymoron, to say the least. A feminist is a Muslimah is an oxymoron. Is a contradiction, okay, within itself. But let's leave that. Let's leave that. So then the third one is the consequences method on apostates in Islam are justifiable. And the last one, love for my neighbor is more important than my religion. So I'll be looking at these things one by one. Actually, what I want to do is I'll be examining the panelists, 6 of them, one by one. So that's what we want to do.
Please signify if you agree with the prompt. There is no valid reason to leave Islam.
So this is the first one. There is no valid reason to leave Islam. It's a very, very funny discussion. Very, very funny discussion. Let me tell you that there are 6 people. The first person is Ridwan. Ridwan is a Muslim. The second person is Muhammad, a Christian. He was a Muslim before, but became a Christian. That is the first person. The second person. The third person here is Salama. This one was a Christian before and then became a Muslim. The fourth one is Salman, a Muslim, one of the strict ones, the strict 2 that I talked about. And then the fifth person is Oyida Mola, an ex-Muslim, now a Christian. And the 6th one is Demila. So the Muslims are Ridwan, Salama, and Salman. And the Christians are Muhammad, Oyida Mola, and Demilade. It's a very funny, very, very funny discussion. So let's see what happens in it. Actually, what I will be what I'll be exploring today is whether there is an exit door out of Islam or not. Because Muslims do claim that there's no compulsion in religion. We shall see what that is all about.
There is no valid reason to leave Islam.
So this is read one.
If I know something is...
And please pay attention to him. He has said there's no valid reason to leave Islam. If you explore this one alone, that there's no valid reason. So what he is saying is that under no circumstance, there is no way you can be justified. Whatever reason you bring forth, you are not justified. It is not talking about moral reasons. It's not talking about, no. It's just saying no way. Think about that. Those of you that say there's no compulsion in religion. Have you seen that? Have you seen that? No valid reason for leaving Islam. Let's listen to his explanations.
Totally right. If I have an unshaken knowledge...
Okay, so if I know something is totally right, can you please notice that?
There is no valid reason to leave Islam.
There is no valid reason to leave Islam at any point. If I know something is totally right, if I have an unshaken knowledge and believe in something...
Okay, so if he knows that something is totally right, so you see that from the very beginning, he is not making any attempt to prove that Islam is right. He is assuming that it is totally right. And he has unshaken belief, unshaken, what did he call it? Unshaken understanding that this thing is the complete truth. Did you see that?
That this thing is a complete truth. It has no element of falsehood. And
Wow. Did you hear that? It is a complete truth. It has no element of falsehood. Complete truth. No element of falsehood. Can you believe that? How has he proved that? No, he hasn't. But the thing is going to, the discussion gets more interesting. So let's continue. I want him to make his case.
I'm ready to go into that thing, to practice that.
Okay, so now that he believes that something is totally right, by something he is referring to Islam, mind you, and he has unshaken belief in it, and he is ready to go into it and to practice it. Yes, what else? Read one.
Then at no point in time should I say no.
Did you hear that reasoning? At no point in time should you say no once you have said yes to something. That's exactly the point that we're making. See, some time ago, I did a video and was responding to one Femi, a comedian, a Christian comedian. And I said, look, leave Islam alone. If you want to correct anybody, you can correct them. But leave Islam to those of us that understand. Did you hear what this man said? What Read One just said? He said, at no point in time, if you have said yes to something, at no point must you come out. He's referring to Islam. But let's continue. Let's continue.
If at any point in time I choose to leave that, then that means fundamentally that thing is definitely, there's something wrong.
Okay. Now notice the game that he has played here. So he wanted to now say, okay, if at any time you now decide that you want to leave that thing, you want to come out of Islam, he said definitely there is something wrong, but he couldn't say wrong with that thing. So he had to change his statement and said, well, fundamentally there's something wrong. Yes, fundamentally there's something wrong. But let's see where he places what is wrong. Let's see where he places it. So go on, Read One.
Either with my knowledge of that thing.
Oh, did you hear that? But you see, didn't you say you had a complete knowledge. You knew that it was right. But then later on, you found out something. What is he saying now? He said, well, there can only be two things. One, your knowledge is still not complete, even after you have said it, you had a complete knowledge of it before. Or
meaning there is fundamentally something wrong somewhere.
Somewhere, but not with that thing. Somewhere. something is wrong with your knowledge, or something is wrong somewhere else, but not with that thing. That is the idea that these people have about Islam. Islam can never be wrong. But you ask them to prove it, they don't have any proof. They don't have any proof. It's all about, you see, it's because... Later on in the show, he and the other Muslim, Salman, the other Muslim man, they kept on saying, it's because you lack knowledge. It's because you lack... That's what we hear from them every time. But teach us. Explain to us. I know what your problems are. You cannot even explain Islam to an unbeliever. You can't explain Islam to... It's a law of Sharia that you cannot be explaining Islam to somebody who is not a Muslim. And so they keep on saying, you don't understand Islam. You don't understand Sharia. You don't have knowledge. You are ignorant. But you who are not ignorant, explain it. They cannot. Because why? It's a cult. It's not meant to be exposed to people that are not within it. And I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. I don't want this video to be too long. So let's just continue. Okay, so this is who he is. He's going to introduce himself. After that, I'll pause.
My name is Ridwan. I'm a software engineer, the founder of Al-Mohar.
By the way, I wish to reach out to you, Ridwan. Okay, I don't know how to get you now, but the information you've left here, I'm going to try to reach out to you. I want to discuss with you. I want to have person-to-person, personal discussion on some of the things that you have said here.
So it's a tech agency. I'm a Muslim, born and bred. From a very young age, or let me say my nature.
Anyway, that's his introduction. I'm going to go to some of the other things that he actually said. So let me see some of the things that he has said. So he has said there's no valid reason for leaving Islam. No valid reason. Then he kept on saying, if you understand something, if you understand this, if you understand that. Let's see some of the other things that he has said. So let's hear some other things that he has to say.
When we talk about Sharia in Islam, there are 5 aspects in which Sharia is divided into. And just like in law in school, we have civil law, property law, different kinds of law. So the same goes for Sharia. Just like he said, right, the reason why that is said and is justified is in the context of that era. In an Islamic state, 100% of the people there, of the citizens, are Muslims, right?
He's beginning to play his taqiyya. It is that era. It is that era. It's the context. In an Islamic state, 100% of the people there are Muslims. The question I want to ask from you, Ridwan, is this. Do you have authority? Do you have a mandate as a Muslim today to turn this land into an Islamic empire or not? Do you or do you not? Of course you do. That is what Boko Haram is doing. That is what ISWAP is doing. That is what Al-Shabaab is doing. That's what Hamas is doing. Every one of them, Al-Qaeda. They want to turn the world into an Islamic empire. And right now, is Islam the biggest religion? No, Islam is not the biggest religion. What will you do with the Christians? Let me not say when, because it's not going to happen when I am alive. When the Church of Christ is still here, this land, our land, will not become an Islamic empire. You can take that. The Lord of heaven will see to it that it doesn't happen. And that's why we're speaking out. And that's why everybody who loves their life must speak out. And so I come back to you, Ridwan. You said in an Islamic empire, 100% are Muslims. Let me ask you, in Saudi Arabia, are they 100% Muslims? In northern Nigeria, are they 100% Muslims? In Iran, are they 100% Muslims? Indonesia, are they 100% Muslims? In Iraq, are they 100% Muslims? In Libya, are they 100% Muslims? In Turkey, are they 100% Muslims? In Somalia, are they 100% Muslims? In Egypt, are they 100% Muslims? In Pakistan, are they 100% Muslims? In Afghanistan, are they 100% Muslims? In Indonesia, in Morocco, in Algeria, in Tunisia, Are they 100% Muslims? No, they are not. So what are you doing to those non-Muslims there? So he's pretending that this Sharia will be applicable to Muslims because in an Islamic empire they are 100% Muslims. No. You know what you are talking about, but you are deceiving. You are deceiving everybody. You know what you are talking about. So let's go.
So when someone is now given the liberty to go out of the fold of Islam, he's telling other people, you have the liberty to follow suit. And now the state is coming is getting divided into two. So to avoid that, let that person go, so that he does not take other people and mislead them.
Did
you hear that? So he said in an Islamic empire where there are 100% Muslims, there is no Islamic empire that is 100% Muslims. So you are telling, you are deceiving your audience. And we are here to expose that. And then listen attentively to what he said. So if anybody decides to leave Islam, so instead of allowing him and corrupting other people, then it's better you kill him, you execute him. He knows that the law is there. But he's not citing anything. We will cite it. We will mention where you got that exactly, we'll mention. But later on, he's going to come and he wants to manipulate, he wants to deceive. It's good that people like this are speaking, okay? And so you see, he's not an ignorant person like most of you Muslims. He's not ignorant. He knows what he's talking about. And you've heard it from his mouth. In an Islamic empire, if somebody leaves Islam, he will be killed so that the state is not divided. The state is more important than God. The state is more important than God. So that people don't leave Islam, you must kill those who leave and let it serve as a deterrent to those who are still in there. That's what Islam is all about. And I'm very happy that they are saying this out. For everybody that loves their life, do something. Do something if you love your life. Okay? So let's go on with the next session. What he has to say next. Let's listen. So, read one. Take it away.
It's human philosophy or psychology that whatever it is that we do not have knowledge about, that we do not know.
Notice how he keeps saying knowledge. We don't know. Teach us, explain. He will never explain. He will never explain because the Sharia law says that a Muslim should not explain the law or the practice of Islam to a non-Muslim, particularly when you are aware that that non-Muslim is going to have deeper understanding and is going to use that knowledge to expose the falsehood of Islam. He knows that. And I know it too because I have the materials. I'm inviting him. Read one. I'm inviting you. If anybody knows him, tell him. I'll try and contact him myself, but if I can't, if you know him, tell him that I am saying this thing and I want to confront him with a fact. But let him continue.
Right? We get scared of it and we see it as the black side because in truth, it's dark to us. Those people in general who says the Sharia favors oppression, they've categorically categorized themselves to be what? To be those of ignorance.
You heard it again. Those who say Sharia is of oppression, they have categorized themselves to be of ignorance. Do you see circular reasoning? That's what Islam is all about. It's circular reasoning. Those who say Sharia is of oppression, they have made themselves of ignorance. But he started by saying those who say some things is because they are, imagine, I can't understand this circular reasoning, but they are not going to explain it. They will never, so they are of ignorance. They are of ignorance. If we say it is of oppression, they are of ignorance. But he's going to go ahead to expose himself later.
Because in essence, you cannot, if you are saying something of light preaches darkness.
Did you see that again? He's assuming that Sharia is of light without any proof. He's not giving any proof. If you are saying something of light preaches darkness, that is how they reason. And that's why they will discipline. They will even kill anybody who argues with them. So he's talking from a point of authority. something of light. But he's going to say something worse than that. Let's continue. He's going to say something worse.
Then you are contradicting. After every sermon on Friday, the Imam, what does he say? Your Lord God commands you of what? Of justice, al-adli wal-ihsan, al-qurba.
Yes, they must bring this element of Arabic to bamboozle people and to show that they are people of knowledge. And this is why he calls other people people of ignorance. This is it. And what knowledge is he bringing forth now? Tell me one thing that he has said that is so special. Nothing. Nothing. But he sees himself as, he keeps the thing, he knows it within him. He knows that the thing he's saying, that it's problematic, but he cannot say it out. Unless he is pushed to the corner, unless he's forced, that's when he's going to say it. That's when he's going to say it. When he's forced, when he's pushed. Can you see? By merely looking at his facial expression, you know something is hidden somewhere. You know something is hidden.
Do you understand? So basically, it is the Sharia that gives the oppressed the opportunity to move out of oppression.
Wow.
It does not give anyone a liberty or exempt anyone from punishment. That is
okay. Did you hear that? It doesn't give anyone exemption from punishment. So I think I should wait right there and show him that in authentic hadiths, we're clearly told that no Muslim must be killed for killing a non-Muslim. How about that? And I think I should prove that. This is Sahih al-Bukhari. Sahih al-Bukhari, 6903. 6903. You can see it very clearly on the screen. Okay. I heard Abu Juhayfa saying, I asked Ali, have you got any divine literature apart from the Quran? That was during the reign of Ali. Once he said, apart from what the people have. Okay. So have you got any other literature apart from the Quran? Divine literature. Did you see this? Divine literature. Have you got any divine literature apart from what the people, Okay. Ali replied, by him who made the grain split and created the soul, we have nothing except what is in the Quran and the ability, gift of understanding Allah's book, which he may endow a man with, and we have what is written in this paper. So he showed the paper. We have what is written in this paper. What is that? I asked him, what is written in this paper? He replied, Al-Aql, the regulation of Diyah, about the ransom of captives. Those are the things written in the paper that Ali showed the man. Remember, this is narrated Ashubai. So Ali said, okay, we don't have anything apart from these Quran and then the gift of understanding it, which Allah bestows upon those these some special people, so to say, and what is written in this paper. So he held the paper and said, something is written in this paper apart from the Quran. Okay? And the man said, what is there? This is what he said. He said, he mentioned those things about the ransom of captives. I'm going to deal with that in another discussion. And there's a judgment. And the judgment that a Muslim should not be killed in qisas, which is equality in punishment for killing a disbeliever. Did you see that? Did you see that? So you could see that. Let me go to another one. Sahih al-Bukhari, 6915. 6915. Look at it. It's the same story. He replied, all this and the story, blah, blah, blah. This person said this person. So narrated Abu Juhayfa. And it's the same thing. So do you have anything? He said, no, I don't have. Apart from what is written in this paper. What is written in the paper? The legal, it says, the legal regulations of Diyah, which is blood money, and the ransom for releasing of the captives, and the judgment that no Muslim should be killed in equality in punishment for killing a kuffar, a disbeliever. And so in an Islamic empire, when there are Muslims and there are non-Muslims, there is no equality. There's not equality before the law does not apply. It doesn't apply. No Muslim will be killed for killing a disbeliever. This man knows it. Let me give you another one. At any rate, I don't have any point to make again on that. So you see that it is very clear. He talks about Sharia giving justice, social justice. It's about social justice. I don't want this video to be too long, but you've seen what the social justice will be for non-Muslims in a Muslim state.
Social justice.
Yeah.
Can they disagree?
So that's about that. I'll go to another point in this discussion. So that is about something that he mentioned. It was a sleep, and then he mentioned the thing, and then he said, okay, I'll let it play. The Christian lady, Demilade, brought up a point and said people stay in Islam as a result of fear. Okay, that's the point that I've been trying to make. But let's listen and let's see the response of Ridwan.
The point, it makes me just realize something. So people probably even stayed in Islam due to fear of them being killed.
Yes.
Okay, let's understand that Sharia is not the law of any human. It's a divine law.
Did you hear that? So we must understand that. So there's no reason for us to be debating it. It's a divine law. Okay? But they have not proven that God, okay, that divinity is actually the true God. They won't prove that. But everybody must accept. Let's understand that it's a divine law. Okay, so what is the meaning of that?
Right?
Divine law. Emphasis on divine law.
Emphasis on the divine law.
Oh, did you hear that? Did you hear that? And so Oyindamola said emphasis on divine law, and he agreed. He said, yes, emphasis on divine law. Okay. Where is that taking us to?
We know what divine means.
It is God himself that prescribed it. This.
So there shouldn't be a debate as to whether it should be
justifiable
as
or
a
not.
Muslim, right? One of the tenets of Islam, your shahada, is what makes you a Muslim, right? So you say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna, I bear witness that Allah.
Okay, so he's going somewhere with this. As a Muslim, one of the tenets is you take the shahada. Okay, what does that mean? For those who want to leave, read one. Let him conclude. What does that mean?
Allah is the messenger and Prophet Muhammad. And now in the Quran, God is telling you that idkhulu fi silmi kafatan.
You see that again? They must bring these aspects. He cannot say whatever he wants to say without bringing wamiya tuli kuri mama. They have to do that. It's a psychological thing to show that they are people of knowledge. So after that, explain what you mean.
He's telling you that if you want to enter Islam, there's no compulsion.
Please note the game. If you want to enter Islam, there's no compulsion. But if you want to leave, there's compulsion. So when they come and say, there's no compulsion in religion, they are not telling you the truth. They're not telling you the absolute truth. It is half truth. There's no compulsion if you want to enter. We welcome everybody. You are coming with your free will, but you cannot go out with your free will. You cannot. It's not possible. That's it. You are entering, well, yeah, it's a religion of peace. Everybody, you see, come. Islam is beautiful. Islam is wonderful. There's no compulsion. We're not forcing you to come, but they can use deception to bring you in. But after that, read one. What happens?
In the Quran, God tells us that there is no compulsion in religion.
Oh, he brought again. Listen to what he just said a moment ago. Listen.
That's Allah is the messenger and Prophet Muhammad. And now in the Quran, God is telling you that idkhulu fi silmi kafatan.
Listen, please.
Wala tattabi'u khutuwati shaitan. He's telling you that if you want to enter Islam,
Did you see that? If you want to enter, there's no compulsion. If you want to enter, there is no compulsion. But then after, people don't take note of these nuances. They are called nuances. You know, little things that they use to bamboozle people. When he's talking in another place, or some, all these people that call themselves press, all these ignorant press, all these useful idiots that are just deceiving people. What they'll be telling us is that there's no compulsion in religion. There's no compulsion in religion. Are you serious? You're not serious. Even right before your eyes, you see that there's compulsion. But you must repeat this thing. There's no compulsion. By the way, where is it written there? I know that it's written somewhere. I know it's somewhere written. But even he cannot, because if we look at the context, you understand what I mean. But let's go on. Let's go on. Let him finish his statements.
there's no compulsion. In the Quran, God tells us that there is no compulsion in religion. If you want to practice Islam, practice. If you don't want to practice, don't practice. But if you want to practice, enter what? With your whole heart, submissively.
Yeah. I hope you are following. Enter with your whole heart. If you don't want to practice, okay, don't practice. Even though if you are not practicing in an Islamic empire, you are in trouble. You will be oppressed. You could be killed, and there's no penalty for the person that has killed you. If it's a Muslim that has killed a non-Muslim, you have seen it in Sahih al-Bukhari. There is no penalty. That's why those who killed Deborah Samuel, nothing happens to them. More than 30 More than 30 lawyers went to defend the killers. And how many lawyers went to answer for the murdered? I don't know. Yet, the person who raised it on social media in Bauchi, who pointed attention to it, spent 1.5 years in jail. A woman spent 1.5 years in jail untried for calling attention to those who murdered. She spent 1.5 years in jail. Those who did the murdering, the killing, the burning, nothing happened to them. Why? Because a Muslim must not be killed for killing a non-Muslim. And this man knows it. He knows it. But he's going to be deceiving everybody. Let him continue.
For the confine of Islam, right, there are certain laws, meaning once you enter,
there's no back door.
So if we have a hypothesis,
you have heard it. For the concerns of Islam, there are certain laws. But read one. Do you tell people that before they enter? No. No. You can hear from them. And I know it. But as we are talking now, some Muslims will come in the comment section and say, you don't have knowledge. You are ignorant. Am I ignorant? I'm not ignorant. I'm not ignorant. You are the one. Those social media Muslims, you are the one that are you are the one that is ignorant. I'm not ignorant. I know what I'm talking about. I have my facts. And I'm actually showing you, all right? I'm reading the hadiths, I'm reading the Quran. Every time I come up and I'm saying something, I'll be reading the hadiths, I'll be reading the Quran to you. I have my facts. So, but all this, it's a lack of knowledge. You don't know Islam. I don't know Islam. You are the one who doesn't know Islam. I know Islam more than you. And that's why I say, don't learn Islam from these liars. They are liars. They are deceivers. Look at the way Ridwan is deceiving everybody. If you don't pay attention, you won't get what he's saying. But he said there's no compulsion in religion earlier. And then before that one, he said, if you want to enter, there's no compulsion. So if you want to go out, there is compulsion. There's compulsion. And if you go against that law, you said, you heard him. Let him repeat it, please. Let him repeat it. I want him to.
That's Allah is the messenger and Prophet Muhammad. And now in the Quran, God is telling you that idkhulu fi silmi kafatan wala tattabi'u khutuwati shaitan. He's telling you that if you want to enter Islam, there's no compulsion. In the Quran, God tells.
Okay, if you want to enter There's no compulsion. And that's what people take and say there's no compulsion in religion. You are deceived.
Tells us that there is no compulsion in religion. If you want to practice Islam, practice. If you don't want to practice, don't practice. But if you want to practice, enter what? With your whole heart, submissively, for the confine of Islam.
Yeah,
right?
for the confines of Islam, right?
There are certain laws, meaning once you enter,
there's no back door.
So if we have a hypothetical scenario.
So you've heard it. You've heard it. I don't understand why people cannot make use of their brain. They cannot think. They cannot think. And so that is it. That's what I wanted you to hear. But before I close it, there is, by the way, I think I really didn't want to make this thing too long, but I'm going to read to you maybe 2 hadiths, okay, to show you that in Islam, if anybody leaves his religion, kill him. That's what this man is referring to. That's what Ridwan is referring to. So I'm going to show you those 2 hadiths. This is Sahih al-Bukhari. This is Sahih al-Bukhari, 30:17. Let's read together. Ali burnt some people, and this news reached Ibn Abbas. Ibn Abbas is the here you have the cousin of Muhammad, Ali, the 4th caliph. You have Abu Bakr, you have Umar, you have Uthman, then you have Ali. So Ali burnt some people, and this news reached Ibn Abbas, who said, had I been in his place, I would not have burnt them, just like the people in Sokoto did. Everything is Islamic. As the Prophet said, don't punish with Allah's punishment. So Allah is the one that can burn, right? No doubt, I would have killed them. Oh, okay. So he will kill them peacefully, but not by burning. But even if you burnt them, is there punishment? No. There's no punishment. So Islam is like that. Prohibiting this one, not prohibiting killing, just prohibiting killing by fire. But the people in Sokoto, when they did it, what happened to them? Nothing happened to them. Why? Because there's another ruling that says don't kill a Muslim for killing a non-Muslim. And so Ali did this thing, and Ibn Abbas said, if I were in your shoes, I wouldn't have burnt them. I would have killed them by, beheading them. All right? And then he cited something. He said, I would have killed them. For the Prophet said, if somebody, a Muslim, discards his religion, kill him. He's quoting Muhammad. If anybody discards his religion, kill him. You can find the same thing. Write it down. In Jami' al-Tirmidhi, 1458. These are authentic hadiths. Jami' al-Tirmidhi, 1458. You can see it in Sunnah an-Nasai, 4060. You can see it in Sunnah Abu Dawud, 4351. If anybody leaves his religion, kill him. Kill him. What else are you? What are these people talking about? They don't know what they're talking about. They don't know. They just want to, this is just for mere discussion. Empty discussion. It's empty discussion. And people are not going to take anything away from it. Okay, but it's good. It's good that they are coming to discuss these things so that we who know what they are discussing can expose them. I bet you there is this man, Muhammad in blue. This man in blue, he actually understands Islam. He is the only one, apart from the Muslims there, this man. He is the only one that understands Islam because he has done his homework properly. I would like to even invite him to our program to discuss some of these things. And so I'll be stopping this video here. Just felt that I should. And by the way, so I have done, this is just a sort of review of the contributions of Ridwan to this episode on cruise. The remaining 5 people, I'll be doing review of their own contributions too. This is the contribution of Ridwan. I'll be doing the contributions of all the others on this panel. And so let me know what you think in the comment section down below. God bless you, and see you in the next video, but stay away from Islam.